It is not too late.
Please, everyone, give your attention to Senator Pramila Jayapal. Jayapal.
Hi, everyone. Let me catch you before you run. I'm sorry to be so late. My name is Pramila Jayapal, and I'm very proud to represent the 37th Legislative District. And for those of you who know where that is, it's essentially South Seattle, Skyway, and Renton. And do we have some 37th here? Excellent. And so if you can imagine, this is an extremely diverse area. I'm proud to represent one of the most economically and racially diverse districts in the state. And so I'm thrilled to be here. I want to first thank you for all the work that you're doing. I've had the pleasure of working with the Unitarians on many issues around immigration in the past. And here on environmental justice issues, I think the thing I wanted to say is that it's very important to think about all of the ways in which we think about how climate affects people of color and low-income folks. And I know that one of your principles, the last principle, is around democracy. I think it's your 5th principle. And it made me go back, as I was thinking about what I wanted to say to you today, it made me go back to the EPA's definition of environmental justice. And I just wanted to read it to you. It basically says that environmental justice is the fair treatment and meaningful involvement of all people, regardless of race, color, sex, national origin, or income, with respect to the development, implementation, and enforcement of environmental laws and priorities. And what I wanted to draw to your attention is this idea of democracy. And how do we really engage people who are going to be affected by the decisions that are being made around their communities in the process? Because what has happened is that our EPA, the environmental agencies tend to not have a lot of people of color. Many of our environmental groups, as wonderful as they are, tend to not have a lot of people of color involved. And so it's really incumbent upon us, and I think of the Unitarians as our most wonderful supporters on so many issues of justice, to try to reach out and make sure that people of color who are going to be affected by these policies are actually at the table, that they're helping to talk about what matters, that they're helping to develop the solutions that we're going to help push forward. Because in the end, if we assume we know, we're probably going to make a lot of errors, right? So in the end, we need to make sure that we're really involving people, and that is the concept of democracy. When I was at One America, we had the same issue around education. We were talking a lot about the opportunity gap broadly, but in fact, we didn't have enough people of color who were affected by the opportunity gap at the table designing the solutions. And so sometimes those solutions were sort of off. You know, they didn't actually address the real issues. So my plea to you today is, first of all, keep up being here. I can't tell you how much it means that you are fighting every day in small ways and big ways to really address these issues. And my second is, make sure you're really getting those folks who are affected involved with your work and helping to design your solutions, and make sure that we're really broadening, expanding, and highlighting what democracy means, which is ultimately meaningful participation. So go forward, do great work, change the world, make sure we have environmental justice and climate action right here. And thank you so much, and please come and let me know if there's something that I can do. I'm going to keep fighting for environmental justice, climate justice. As you know, the transportation package, I made a lot of statements about what was important, that we didn't need to choose between transit and clean air. That's just a false choice in my mind. And it was not an easy debate, because there's a lot of good stuff in there, but if we frame the choices as false choices, we're going to make bad choices. And that's what I think, unfortunately, happened. And so we're going to have to really fight to make sure that we get transit and we get clean air. I'll tell you, my 17-year-old, I'll end with this. Actually, he's now 18. He just turned 18. He has told me that climate change and environmental issues are the #1 concern of his generation. He told me that very definitively. And when I told him about the transportation package, he said to me, "Mom, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard." He said it must be adults who designed that, because no kid would ever say for 16 years no governor can take any action on reducing climate emissions. That's absurd. And to say that we have to choose between transit and climate, I'm like, do you want to come give a floor speech? Because sound pretty good to me. So thank you again. I'll keep fighting. I know you will too.